shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the Kanoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight, Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
Alrighty, everybody, thank you for tuning in to this, the 31st iteration of the Konoha Companion. This is Joshua, as always, and I'm your Konoha Companion. And on this episode, we're going to be covering episode 30 of Naruto, entitled The Sharingan Revived, Dragon Flame Jutsu. Before we go too far off into that, I do want to describe what happened in the previous episode in my own words. To make a long story really short, Naruto basically shows up just in the nick of time to stop the grass ninja from attacking Sasuke. Sasuke, however, demands that Naruto get out of there while he still can. Sasuke, in his desperation, tries to simply hand over the scroll in order to make it out alive. Like, we're not going to fight, take the scroll, we'll live to fight another day. As he tosses the scroll to the grass ninja, Naruto intercepts it midair. Naruto then accuses Sasuke of being a faker, because the Sasuke he knows is no coward. Naruto then attacks solo style, figuring Sasuke is a lost cause for the time being. The grass ninja then summons a super snake, like one large enough to eat all the other snakes that the grass ninja has summoned up until this point. And like literally the grass ninja is the size of the snake's eye, right? So like a person is like a morsel to this thing, right? Like snatch you up, no problem. Some of the sentinels then discover the bodies of the grass ninja that Squad 7 is fighting, right? Which means that basically our squadlings are fighting someone who was strong enough to come in, kill the team that they're impersonating, and then slip in and take their place to achieve whatever goals they have, right? So this is not a squad of Genin that they're fighting. This is a whole different echelon of shit that they're dealing with. The Sentinels show the murder scene to Anko, who recognizes the scene as the handiwork of someone who she is familiar with and who she recognizes as a tremendous threat to the village in its entirety. She then orders the Sentinels to alarm the Hokage and the Anbu Black Ops immediately. She then heads into the Forest of Death to deal with this threat head-on. The grass ninja at this point then attacks Naruto with the Super Snake and hurts Naruto badly. As the Super Snake goes to eat Naruto, Naruto awakens his Nine-Tail mode and proceeds to beat up the snake relentlessly. He continues to beat up the snake until the grass ninja calmly hits Naruto with a jutsu that knocks him on his ass. The grass ninja then launches an attack on Sasuke with the Super Snake, and Naruto stops the attack with brute force, like literally stands in the way and like catches the snake's face with his body. Naruto then hits Sasuke with the Scaredy Cat line, calling back to Arc 1 when Sasuke treated him the same way. Obviously, Naruto is never letting that go. The grass ninja then subdues Naruto with his tongue, right? He's got a big stretchy tongue. And the grass ninja recognizes Naruto as the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. She then hits him with what they refer to as a 5-pronged seal, which adds additional markings to the seal on Naruto's stomach, where the grass ninja's fingers impact on his stomach, right? The grass ninja has like purple fire on their fingers, right? 5 fingers, 5 prongs, and where those prongs hit around Naruto's seal, it creates, I guess, a stronger seal. She then demands that Naruto and the demon's chakra will be as one. So, I mean, this person clearly knows all kind of shit, right? They're like an upper level bad guy talking about stuff on the back end no one really knows about. And apparently Naruto is going to become one with the Nine Tails, right? I do believe this is one of the things that Lord Third Saratobi mentioned, right? Some people think that Naruto is the Nine Tail incarnate. Some people believe that the Nine Tails will gain influence over Naruto over time. And I guess now this other option is that they will literally mesh into one being, according to this demon. She then throws Naruto's limp body to the side, hella disrespectful style, and Sakura actually has to save the day by sticking Naruto to a tree with a kunai. Right, so don't ever call Sakura useless. Girl's done saved homie's life in real life. Like, she did it. He was gonna fall limp, lifeless to the ground and splat, and she prevented that. So remember that. Sakura then yells at Sasuke, lays into him for freezing up in this moment, and Sasuke has a flashback to the one who he is on a mission to destroy, right? Remember his ninja way is to destroy a certain someone. Right, and in this moment, it's revealed through some dialogue on the back end that the person who Sasuke is going to destroy is his brother. This remembrance wakes Sasuke up, and he turns his Sharingan on the grass ninja. The grass ninja decides to play with Sasuke a little in order to learn the extent of his powers. She then makes her super snake explode. And when the smoke clears, she's standing on a branch across from Sasuke, effectively lining up a stare down, which intensifies as the episode ends, right? So that's effectively what happened on the last episode, so you can be caught up. This next episode starts, obviously the episodes tend to start a little ways back, so there is going to be a little bit of overlap here, but when the episode starts, it's with Sakura yelling at Sasuke as Naruto dangles unconsciously from her kunai. She demands, say what you like about Naruto, that he's a pest, that he gets in the way, that he's just a kid, but at least he's doing something. At least he's not a coward, Sasuke. And this seems to effectively snap Sasuke out of his terrified state, and he hears a voice in his memory say, "Foolish little brother, you can't kill me. Your hate's not strong enough. You're not strong enough. Your life is too precious to you, so run. That's right. Run away and live. Live with the shame." And this causes Sasuke to wince and demand no internally. He then awakens and turns his Sharingan on the grass ninja, who is, really some terrifying imposter per the discoveries of the last episode, or at least I think it's safe enough to assume that at this point. The beat builds and the title slide comes in, and Sasuke actually reads this time, "The Sharingan Revived, Dragon Flame Jutsu." The imposter ninja at this point remarks, "I knew it. It's finally happened. His Uchiha blood has come to a boil. I think I'll play with him a little and learn the full extent of his powers." She then readies herself to pounce. As this happens, Sasuke readies himself as well, putting a kunai in his mouth, thinking, all I cared about was surviving in order to defeat my brother. What a fool I've been. I see the truth now. Naruto, Sakura. If I haven't the courage to face this demon, how will I ever have the courage to face him? As he finishes this thought, he comes charging the imposter ninja head on, and the beat drops. The imposter ninja calmly casts a hand sign with their right hand and throws their arms to their side, causing like a shockwave to emanate outward from them in every direction. The force of this shockwave causes Sasuke to have to leap into the air from the tree branch he was running along. As he flies through the air, he throws several kunai and shuriken, just several different types of ninja weapons, at the imposter ninja, which the imposter easily dodges with like the slightest of movements, right? Like easy peasy. Sasuke lands on a nearby tree and launches himself back at the imposter ninja. And when they get close, Sasuke quickly throws a straight left-right combo and follows it up with a kick to the head, which ultimately is all easily blocked by the imposter. Sasuke, at this point, lands behind the imposter ninja and somersaults away in order to turn and face him. They both come rushing forward and meet on a tree branch. They both throw several strikes at one another, which are all either blocked or dodged. Sasuke throws a spinning heel kick, which causes the imposter to have to leap in the air in order to avoid the strike. They then land behind Sasuke and dart off super fast, and they move around the battle arena of trees and branches with like blazing speed. It's literally like causing a wake of dust and debris to be left in their wake. Sasuke, however, has his Sharingan locked in and even thinks, "I can see," as the imposter leaps in to attack. Sasuke dodges and lands a safe distance away and thinks again, even more emphatically this time, "I can see." As he thinks this, he casts a fireball jutsu at the imposter. It appears to hit the entire area around where the jutsu impacted, burns vigorously. While this is happening, Sasuke again breathes fire into the general direction, further incinerating anything within the initial area of impact. It's then revealed that the imposter has been barely fazed by this, if at all. And as the fire from Sasuke's jutsu recedes, the imposter charges Sasuke, moving underground, right? And as he moves towards Sasuke underground, it causes the earth to shatter behind them. They then suddenly leap out of the ground and swipe at Sasuke, who's able to leap out of the way just in time. Sasuke lands some maybe 10-15 meters away and takes a deep, deliberate breath and readies himself in his fighting stance. The imposter smiles and thinks, "Good. You anticipate my attacks, and your aim is true. You can see my moves, can't you?" At this point, we're taken back to Anko, who is swinging from branch to branch, making her way further into the forest of death, when she suddenly stops and looks up to the orange light of the receding sun and thinks, "Sun is going down. I gotta find him soon. My odds are bad enough as it is. They'll only get worse in the dark. But why now? What the devil could he be after? No matter. He's here. Time to finish this." And if her odds are worse in the dark, then so are the squadlings' chances worse in the dark. So hopefully they can get this wrapped up before their adversaries' advantages become exaggerated, right? Like, we don't need our guys having a harder fight. This dude's a badass. I mean, like, it's been a couple episodes, but, like, remember, homie still has, like, his two squadlings fanning out through the woods right now, just, like, making sure that, like, this dude has an unbothered battle arena right now. So, like, even if our guys, like, start whooping this guy's ass, like, he's still got homies here to, like, cover his back. So it's a grim situation, guys. Like, if you're not wrapping your head around the fact that this is, like, a fucking bad situation, you're crazy right now. We're ultimately taken back to what's transpiring between Sasuke and the imposter ninja, where the imposter slams both their hands on the tree branch in front of them, and this sends a very strong and highly accurate and directionalized shockwave beam at Sasuke. Sasuke leaps out of the way just in time, and luckily enough, because this jutsu wound up being strong enough to rip the entire huge tree branch in half. Right, and these are, like, huge tree branches, like, big enough for, like, entire fights to take place on them. It's not like a normal tree. These are, like, the biggest sequoias, the biggest redwoods you've ever imagined, right? They're mega massive. So when it was like, imagine it ripping through a big ass tree. That's what it's like whenever it rips through a limb here. However, Sasuke manages to, he leaps out of the way and lands on a nearby limb behind the like smoke and debris screen created by the impact of the imposter's jutsu, and he launches himself at the imposter. Sasuke manages to grab them from behind on his way down, and he rides the imposter all the way to another big tree branch beneath them, slamming them directly on their head with such violence that it cracks the tree limb beneath them. The imposter ninja is like stuck straight up, like literally cartoon style, and they go limp, right? Their arms, their legs go limp, but they're still effectively upright. When suddenly they start to convulse, their eyes roll on the back of their head, and they suddenly turn into mud and begin to melt away. Sasuke, in this moment, realizes what's happened and yells substitution. And what's neat is that this character is using mud or something, right? It hasn't been clearly defined, but it looks like mud, right? And Kakashi uses hunks of wood, right? So you can use all kinds of stuff as a substitution when it comes right down to it. When, at this point, several thrown ninja weapons come flying in, one of which grazes Sasuke's face. Sasuke leaps out of the way and begins to fall towards the ground. He then pulls out his ninja wire strings and slings them around a branch as he's falling. This effectively does the trick, allowing Sasuke to Spider-Man swing around the tree. He lands on a branch, and as quickly as he lands, the imposter ninja comes running in and punches Sasuke in the face with a big right hand. They then proceed to hit Sasuke with a 1-2, followed by a knee to the stomach and another big right hand that ultimately knocks Sasuke down. Sakura, seeing this ass whooping transpire, desperately calls out for Sasuke. And in this moment, the imposter ninja slowly walks up to Sasuke, who is still laying on the branch, and remarks, as like a spooky beat drops, "What a disappointment you turned out to be. Your ancestors weep. The Uchiha clan should thank me for killing you, silly little worm." As the imposter finishes up this shit talk, Sasuke opens his eyes just as the imposter wraps up their shit talk, and it's revealed that Sasuke has managed to plant several small bombs on the imposter's garment. They all simultaneously explode, knocking the imposter forward and off balance. Sasuke times it all perfectly and leaps just as this happens, and while he's midair, he throws several shuriken with wire strings attached to him past the imposter ninja. Right, so like they all miss, but now there are like these ninja wires going past the ninja. Sasuke then yanks on all the wires, which he has in like both hands and in his mouth. And this causes the shuriken to rapidly change course and turn back towards the imposter. The imposter recognizes what is happening and thinks, "Incredible, a Sharingan windmill triple attack." So this move is a Sharingan windmill triple attack. And in this moment, the wires yank tight and restrain the imposter, effectively tying them to a tree. Having the imposter restrained and right where he wants him, Sasuke unleashes his fire-style Dragon Flame Jutsu on them. And this is the first time we've seen this jutsu. It basically creates a beam of fire a few feet in diameter. Like imagine like a laser beam, like a big thick laser beam made out of fire, right? And this ultimately hits the imposter directly in the face, causing the imposter to scream in agony as the flames consume them. Sakura excitedly exclaims, "He did it!" And he did. He got him. I mean, he got him with a move that, like, the imposter was, like, mind blown by as he did it. And then hit him with, like, a dope, badass new jutsu that we've never seen. And, like, it appears as though the imposter ninja's defeated. Right? I mean, the agonizing screams stop after a while, and it's revealed that the jutsu has effectively charred the entire humongous tree the imposter was tied to. And it's also knocked a hole clean through the tree where it impacted, but the ninja remains intact, and you can hear them like breathing in a labored fashion, right? Sasuke, relieved and exhausted, takes a big breath and hunches over. Sakura comes running over and yells, "Sasuke, you did it." Sasuke doesn't respond and remains hunched over while breathing heavily. She then says, "You okay? Don't worry, it's all over." And just as she says this, the imposter suddenly lurches forward and pops the wire strings like they're nothing and takes a few steps forward. Like, this dude let that attack hit. Like, he could have gotten out of those wires and was just like, let's see. They then emphatically cast a two-handed sign, and this effectively puts Sakura and Sasuke back under the fear paralysis jutsu again. But in this moment, it gives us a close-up of the face of the imposter after having been hit with the dragon flame jutsu, and you can see where, like, the face that we've been dealing with is peeling off, and underneath you can see that there's a whole other face, like someone's wearing the grass ninja's face like a mask. And you can see that it's the yellow-eyed person from the intro, right? In the intro, we mentioned this whenever they first gave us the new intro, to keep an eye out for whoever has the yellow eyes with the vertical slits and the purple makeup around their eyes. Or maybe it's a genetic trait, I don't know, but there's purple around their eyes, right? And, like, we said we needed to watch out for this, and it's happened, right? So the imposter is like the enigmatic figure from the background of the intro, right? So this is a big deal. Like, this is a big deal. Sasuke remarks aloud, "No, impossible." And the imposter remarks, "Such mastery of the Sharingan at such a young age. You're a true Chiha after all. Yes, you'll do nicely." And, like, their voice literally changed, right? Like, they were a girl. They were masquerading as a girl the entire time. But Anko knows this is a man. And their voice changes mid-sentence. And, like, bruh, this person's voice is hella ominous. Like, no, you can tell they're a bad guy just by, like, hearing them speak. To be real frank. As they say this, they move their hand across the symbol on their headband, and it changes to a musical eighth note, right? So now we know our big bad imposter that is terrorizing our squadlings and our Proctor Anko is so worried about is somehow affiliated with the Hidden Sound Village, the place that produced the assholes who attacked our man Kabuto just before the Chunin exams began. Hidden Sound sucks. Hidden Sand pack of assholes too, bruh. Gaara, that guy, I don't know about him. Definitely was like a punk ass to the Konohamaru Ninja Squad, but we're digressing, right? We don't need to digress too far because I slipped up and referred to the Hidden Sand instead of the Hidden Sound. So, to be clear, Hidden Sound is the guys who suck in this particular instance. The imposter then remarks aloud, "You're definitely his brother. If anything, your eyes are even keener than Itachi's." And this is the first time we've heard Sasuke's brother's name. This immediately triggers Sasuke, right? He struggles to break free of the fear paralysis jutsu and literally screams with effort. When he's unable to break free, he demands, "Who are you? What do you want?" And they then laugh and toss our squadling's heaven scroll in the air and catch it upright in their palm. And they then announce, "My name is Orochimaru. But as to what I want, that will have to wait until we meet again, which won't happen until you finish the test with the best score of all." Their scroll suddenly becomes engulfed in green fire. And so yeah, this is Orochimaru. This is this person's name. This person's name relates back to an old Japanese legend, right? Where basically there was this legendary figure who raised toads, and Orochimaru was a big snake, and it kept coming and eating this character's toads, right? So this is all like neat references to like Japanese folklore. There's like hella callbacks here where like if you knew what was going on the first time you watched it, you'd be mind blown, right? But so it's neat the way that this stuff relates to like some overarching cultural stuff from real life. But I digress. Sakura, seeing Orochimaru light their scroll on fire, causes her to panic, and she yells out loud, "The scroll!" Orochimaru then continues, "First, you'll have to defeat the hidden sound ninja who serve me." Sakura interrupts him, demanding, "I have no idea what you're talking about, but if you're finished, just beat it. If we never met again, it'd be too soon." Orochimaru kind of chuckles and goes, "Oh, he will. He and I will meet again." They then cast a two-handed sign, and their neck stretches and lunges towards Sasuke, biting him on the neck. And this is crazy, right? Like, homie's feet stayed planted, his arms and body stayed planted, his neck and tongue are both elastic as hell. And like acted with the quickness and like vampire bit Sasuke. Like got like this dude has like fangs, you can tell. And definitely like gave him 2 puncture wounds like you'd expect to see Interview with a Vampire style. Sakura sees this and is like, "Sasuke, no," in traditional Sakura fashion. Orochimaru then lets Sasuke go, and their neck recedes back to normal. Just next to the bite mark on Sasuke's neck appears a pattern of 3 tomoe in a circle, very similar to what they did to Naruto with the 5-pronged seal. The appearance of this mark causes Sasuke a tremendous amount of pain, rightly screaming, retching, having a terrible time. Sasuke demands, "What did you do to Sasuke?" And Orochimaru responds, "I just gave him a little parting gift. Very soon, Sasuke will seek me out in desire of my power. In the meantime, I enjoyed the demonstration of the powers you already possess." And he lets out like an evil chuckle as he slowly sinks into the tree branch beneath him and disappears. Sasuke continues to scream in agony from the pain that the mark is causing him. Sakura rushes over to him and asks, "What is it? What has he done to you? Are you..." And Sasuke just is becoming more and more consumed with pain, right? Like, it's not getting any better, it's getting worse. Sakura tries to console him, telling him it's okay, hang on, you're gonna be okay. Sasuke then screams violently and passes out in Sakura's arms. This obviously ruins Sakura, right? This is her guy, right? Sasuke is literally her Nindo. And now he's like unconscious in her arms. So she's having to freak out, and she yells, "Naruto, Sasuke is hurt. I need you, Naruto." And it shows Naruto still dangling unconsciously. And in this moment, several crows screech and fly off, startling Sakura. And this is significant. Remember the crows. Sakura looks up to the sky and says, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, as she hugs Sasuke tightly. At this point, it takes us to a new scene in the forest where it's now dark and Orochimaru is emerging out of a tree, right? So a few hours have passed, it's now dark, and it takes us to Anko, who is on a dead sprint into the forest, thinking, I can feel him. It then shows us Orochimaru basically like leaning into the trunk of a tree and like dissolving into it most of the way, but leaving his head and his neck and some of his chest exposed. Anko continues her progress into the forest, thinking he's somewhere close, and immediately following this, she happens across Orochimaru, who is upside down in the trunk of a tree. Orochimaru sees Anko and smiles, remarking, well, Anko, it's been a while. And he lets out another creepy, menacing laugh. Anko steps forward, saying, this is no time to reminisce. You're an S-class criminal, top of the most wanted list. You've got to be taken down, and it's only fitting that I'm the one to do it. And so, wow, Orochimaru is S-class criminal, top of the heap category of criminal, and he's at the top of that list. So this is literally like the biggest bad around. She then flicks her wrist, and 4 sharp rods come out of the base of Anko's palms, and these sharp pointy rods like fit between her fingers so that she can make a fist, and it effectively gives her sharp claws while she has a fist. She then continues, 'cause after all, you're the one who taught me everything, right, sensei? And this is wild. So this would definitely indicate that although Orochimaru is rocking Hidden Sound right now, he definitely came up in or has like some significant amount of affiliation with the Hidden Leaf. I mean, he was literally the sensei of one of the proctors of the Chunin exams, right? So this is a guy who at one point was a sensei to ninja who became Jonin. So this is badass. Like, this is crazy, right? It's a wild reveal because you've only seen Orochimaru masquerading as Hidden Grass and revealing himself as Hidden Sound, and now it's revealed that he has previous affiliations with the Hidden Leaf. So it's just a lot to keep track of. I want to make sure that we're, coherently talking about this stuff. Orochimaru responds to Anko after she says, 'cause after all, you're the one who taught me everything, right, sensei? And he responds, not quite. And he shoots his stretchy tongue out at her, which Anko is able to dodge by leaping upwards. And she lands on the tree trunk above her when Orochimaru's tongue suddenly wraps around her right wrist. He then yanks her back down to the branch, and Anko takes a moment to cast her striking shadow snake jutsu. And she effectively aims her left arm at Orochimaru, and several snakes emerge from her sleeve and launch towards Orochimaru. They all seem to hit directly, and Anko yells, "Get out of there!" and yanks the snakes, pulling Orochimaru out of the tree trunk and slamming him against the tree trunk behind Anko. She then recalls the snakes into her sleeve, but she keeps a hold of Orochimaru's hand with hers. And you can definitely tell that, like, she's Orochimaru's student with the snake jutsu, right? Like homie summons snakes. She summons snakes. We can see it. But as I said, she recalls the snakes into her sleeve, and she keeps a hold of Orochimaru's hand with hers, and she ultimately stabs both of their hands through sticking them both to the tree. Anko smiles and goes, "Ha, gotcha. Now then, let me just borrow your left hand." And Anko then uses Orochimaru's left hand and her right hand to make the appropriate hand sign to cast a particular jutsu. And this is crazy. Anko needed two hands, and hers is stuck to a tree, so she used homie's hand to cast a jutsu. As she does this, Orochimaru sees what's happening, and their gaze widens, and they then think, "That hand sign." And Anko then says with a smug grin, "That's right, you and I are both gonna die right here." She then takes a deep breath, closes her eyes, and thinks, "Ninja art, twin snake sacrifice jutsu." Orochimaru then laughs, saying, "I'm afraid you'll die alone, Anko," when suddenly the real Orochimaru emerges out of the tree branch behind her. She senses this, takes a sharp, terrified breath, builds up her courage, and turns around to face Orochimaru, who then peels off the rest of the grass Genin's face, revealing his true face, continuing, "That's right, substitution." The light then shines on Orochimaru's face, and the bad guy Orochimaru music hits, right? And the music is so fantastic. It's been so long since, I'm on like episode 900 of Naruto in total, all the way down the Boruto rabbit hole, and so to come back and see this music, the music was so good. Like, please guys, take in how dope Orochimaru's bad guy music is. It's some of the best in any anime around. Anko then turns back to see who she stabbed, and the Orochimaru that she stabbed turns to mud. This causes Orochimaru to laugh maniacally, and Anko kind of shrivels in defeat as Orochimaru taunts, "Of course, you're one of the elite now, a righteous warrior. How naughty of you for using a forbidden jutsu that I taught you." And so, okay, the twin snake sacrifice jutsu is a forbidden jutsu. Good to know. And Anko was like, "Fuck it, we're gonna use a forbidden jutsu to get rid of the bad guy on the literal top of the bad guy list, FBI's most wanted S-class criminal Orochimaru. YOLO, we're going down. It's going down for real." But Anko has no quit in her, and she pulls the kunai out of her hand and throws it at Orochimaru, who easily catches it, right? He literally catches the kunai with 2 fingers and smiles. And he continues, "It won't work, Anko," as he tosses her kunai to the side. He then catches Anko with the fear paralysis jutsu, rendering her stuck. He slowly, ominously walks up to her, and he draws near to Anko and asks, and Anko asks as he draws near, "Why are you here?" Then Orochimaru responds simply, "I'm disappointed. I expected a friendlier reception after all this time." Anko continues to question, "Please don't tell me you've come here to assassinate Lord Hokage." Orochimaru chuckles, "No, not yet. I don't have quite enough followers to attempt that. But I've heard such good things about this village, I thought I might want to make it mine." And I don't know about this statement, bro. I feel like if you ain't got enough followers to take out the Hokage, how you got enough followers to take over the village. Like, you're gonna have to, like, but the path to taking over the village goes through the Hokage, you know? And furthermore, Anko is already sent for the Hokage and the Anbu. So, like, get ready, Orochimaru. Get ready. Anko at this point grabs her neck, dropping to her knees and wincing in pain, much like how Sasuke did. Orochimaru continues to tease, asking, "Oh, it's the mark, isn't it? I put that same curse mark on a young man just a little while ago. He's a very promising prospect." And so now we know, right? Earlier, I think in the previous episode, I posed the question, I was wondering if there was any significance to Anko rubbing her neck every time that she thought about Orochimaru, and now it's clear that she was rubbing her neck for something outside of just anxiety. She has a damn curse mark where she's been bitten by Orochimaru, and now we know these things are called curse marks, right? I was just calling it a mark before, but obviously I knew it's curse mark, but for the sake of continuity, we're going to talk about it the way we talk about it. And now we all know that whenever Orochimaru bites your ass, he puts a curse mark on you, and it's really painful. And Anko still has one, and she's working for the Leaf Village. So, like, there's all kinds of stuff that we could dive off into in terms of what the implications of this mean, right? Obviously, you get a free will, right? Like, Anko's living, doing her own thing with the Hidden Leaf Village, doing stuff that doesn't necessarily align with what her previous sensei's intentions are. So it's not like he puts a curse mark on you and you're automatically enslaved to him or anything like that. Like, Anko's still doing her and fighting this dude. So, there's a lot to dive off into. Let you guys think about it and hop in the comments. We'll talk about it more, right? But just know that, like, there's plenty to look into here. At this point, Anko angrily demands, "You haven't changed, I see. He'll die before he serves you." And Orochimaru responds calmly, "Very possibly. I'd say the odds are 1 in 10 against him, but the kid may survive, as you did." And Anko replies, "Sounds like you want him badly, huh?" Orochimaru reaches out and touches Anko's face, asking, "Oh, jealous, is that it? You can't forgive me, can you, for using you and then tossing you aside? In some ways, the boy has even more potential than you had. You see, he's inherited the sublime abilities of the Uchiha clan, and his physical condition is excellent. Yes, he very well may be the heir I'm looking for. At the very least, he makes things interesting." He then stands up and demands, "Whatever happens, make sure no one stops the exams early." He then begins to walk off all nonchalantly while continuing, "3 of my followers are also candidates. I look forward to seeing how they fare." And he then literally disappears into thin air. Yet his disembodied voice continues, "Bear this in mind. If anything happens to deprive me of my fun, it means the end of the Leaf Village." And so, he's over here threatening the end of the Leaf Village. I still don't quite understand how this guy feels like he's got the balls to threaten the end of the entire village whenever he didn't have the balls to say that he was going to assassinate the Hokage. And I feel like if you're going to take over the village, you're going to have to, like, beat the Hokage in some real-life fisticuffs. So I don't necessarily understand the dissonance. I mean, I've even seen this all the way through, and I'm watching it again, and, like, some of these statements still don't, like, make clear, coherent sense to me. But the bottom line is that Orochimaru is like, fuck the Hokage, is like, fuck the Leaf Village, is like, this shit's finna be mine, and I'll fuck y'all up if you get in my way, right? That's the general sentiment that you need to understand that Orochimaru has, right? Even if what he's saying may be a little confusing, right? The base sentiment is, fuck all these good guys, I'm here to take y'all's shit. And so, homie Orochimaru is like a Leaf Village Zabuza, right? Like, Zabuza staged a coup d'etat and, like, attempted to assassinate The Mizukage, I believe, is the Kage of the village hidden in water. Either way, the bottom line, the village hidden in the mist, rather, hidden mist. So, either way, man, the dude has followers and shit, and is like considering assassinating the Hokage, and is threatening the literal end of the Leaf Village if anyone gets in the way of his fun. How damn strong is this dude? Also, his fun is definitely going to get ruined, right? As I mentioned, Anko's already sent the Sentinels to fetch the Hokage and the Anbu Black Ops. So we'll see how this all transpires, right? But, like, it's not like Anko can intercept the guys that she sent off to, like, send these warnings out, right? Even if she were to be like, fuck, I don't want this to happen no more. Like, the gears are already turning, right? So we're going to see how it all transpires. At this point, the scene transitions to Team Guy, who's resting along a river where Neji says to Rock Lee and Tintin, Neji says to Rock Lee and Tintin, all right, that's enough resting up, I think. The other teams will be calling it a day soon, and that means it's time to strike. And shout out the passphrase, right? The passphrase is, when does a ninja strike? And a ninja strikes when his enemy, in the middle of the night, when his enemy sleeps and his weapons are forgotten in the middle of the night, type shit, right? I don't know the exact quote, but the general sentiment from the passphrase for Team 7 is that hit them when they're sleeping, right? And that's exactly what Team Guy is doing here, right? So, yeah, good shit. Like, Team Guy, keep an eye out. These guys know what's up. And as Neji stands up, he continues, you know the plan. We split up and fan out. Whatever happens, whether we make contact with another team or not, we meet up back here at this spot. And he throws a kunai in the ground, designating the spot. And then he asks, got it? Rock Lee and Tintin both confirm this plan. And Neji then continues, all right then, let's move. And they all fan out, leaving plumes of smoke in their wake. You know, they're badasses. They're moving quick. The scene transitions back to Sasuke, who's asleep but still writhing in pain. Sakura puts her hand on his forehead and thinks, at least he's finally breathing easier now, but he's still got a high fever. It is then revealed that she's went and retrieved Naruto and laid him next to Sasuke, right? So Naruto is now no longer just dangling off to the side. She's got them both there, and she's watching over them. And she thinks to herself, looks like it's up to me for the time being. So, you know, Sakura didn't do much in the way of the fight, but she did save Naruto's life, and she is here holding it down, protecting her two unconscious squadlings. So, you know, not entirely useless, holding it down. The scene then transitions again to Anko, who is now sitting on a rock wrapping up her hand. And when she finishes wrapping up her hand, she stands up and exhales sharply and thinks, I've wasted enough time. Somebody's got to tell Lord Hokage. She then steps forward, but something catches her attention just behind, just in the forest. And it's revealed to be a huge tiger, bigger than a person, right? Like big, like 11-foot long tiger, like 8 foot tall, like humongous, huge tiger. Anko thinks, I don't have time for this, when suddenly another tiger leaps down on her to her right, and a third tiger then comes in from behind her, and they effectively have her surrounded at this point. And just as one of the tigers goes to strike, it gets hit with an invisible force and knocked over. Anko looks closer at one of the tigers who was standing getting ready to pounce, and realizes that they're stuck in place, and remarks out loud, it's a paralysis jutsu. Suddenly, from the trees, an Anbu member yells out, so there you are, Anko. The Anbu member and his partner hop down to talk to Anko face to face, face to mask rather. And Anko pokes fun. Man, you Anbo goons took your time getting here, didn't you? And one of the Anbu pair quips, well, there's no need to get snippy. When suddenly Anko's curse mark acts up and it forces her to her knees in pain. The Anbu member that has been doing the talking to this point kneels down and worriedly asks, Anko, are you alright? What is it? When he notices the curse mark. And this causes him to gasp, and he thinks internally, that curse mark has appeared, but that means Orochimaru. And his partner immediately remarks, what, here? No. And the first Anbu says to Anko, hurry, let's go. I will carry you to Lord Hokage if we have to. Like, they're clearly indicating that, like, oh shit, we recognize this is Orochimaru. We'll fucking drag you to the Hokage, bro. Like, we gotta get this handled. But Anko demands, no, take me to the tower. And the second Anbu demands, what are you talking about? You know we have to raise the alarm at the first sign of Orochimaru. It's more important than the tuning exams. And Anko responds, I know, but... Alright, then summon Lord Hokage to the tower. I'll explain everything there. And the scene transitions to our squadlings, where Sakura is now dozing off, watching over an unconscious Naruto and Sasuke. From the bushes, we see that Dosu is spying on the situation and remarks aloud, found you, and laughs menacingly. He then addresses his squad mates. All right, just as Orochimaru ordered, we strike at daybreak, and remember our target is the Uchiha. Zaku responds to this from the shadows, yeah, but if the other two get in our way, it's okay if we take them out, right? To which Dosu responds, of course. The scene transitions to morning, and Sakura is still sitting over Naruto and Sasuke, but she is dozed off. The sunbeams wake her up, and she looks up into the light as the morning birds chirp, and like all is peaceful for now. And the episode ends. And this was a crazy ass episode, man. Like, lots of stuff got revealed, stuff that's going to matter long term got revealed, stuff that is going to have big implications short term got revealed. Like, we're in the thick of the arc right now. The imposter was revealed to be Orochimaru, who is the guy with yellow eyes from the intro. I think it's super fair to assume that this person is going to play a significant role, at least as a bad guy, considering that they were presented as like eyes watching over the whole scene during the intro, right? Like, that's some big bad guy shit. He survived the dragon flame jutsu to the literal face and snapped the ninja wire strings like they were nothing, right? He's an S-class criminal, top of the most wanted list. He knocked out Naruto, even when he was going into like Ninetales freakout mode. He put a curse mark on Sasuke, and he literally didn't even bother with Sakura, as well as made short work of Anko and threatened to destroy the Leaf Village in its entirety. It seems like his current goal is to mark Sasuke as his and to take over the Leaf Village, and he seems to be intent on killing the Hokage eventually as well. What the fuck is a curse mark? What is that going to do long term? What is that going to do short term? Right? We need to keep a close eye on this curse mark and understand that it's probably going to be something significant moving forward. It's wild to think that at this point Sasuke is only being given a 1 out of 10 chance to survive the curse mark by the person who gave it to him. It's also neat that there's someone in the village who already has a curse mark and who survived it, and like, fucking hopefully Sasuke and Anko will be able to link up, and Anko will be able to show Sasuke the path to like leading a normal ninja life with this curse mark, like she's been able to do, right? until Orochimaru shows up, and then, he hits you with a weird thing that makes your curse mark fucking act up and knocks you over. It's wild that Orochimaru is Anko's old sensei. You can tell with the snake jutsu that she used. It's going to be interesting to see, like, what Orochimaru's true affiliations are long term. Clearly, he was a member of the Leaf Village, having been Anko's sensei. He masqueraded around as a grass ninja, and now he's presenting himself in his true form, or what is apparently his true form, with hidden sound headbands. So it's like, from the hidden leaf, masquerading as hidden grass, operating currently out of the hidden sound is what I can determine to the best of my ability with the information that we have available to us now. I love that Team Guy waited to strike till the nighttime when their enemies were sleeping and their weapons were forgotten in the night. Shout out Kakashi and Guy Sensei for being badass senseis and getting like the right shit beaten into both of their squadlings' heads. And again, just to double down on it, they talked about how the one who Sasuke is going to destroy and is the cornerstone of his ninja way, is his brother Itachi. So, just keep in mind that, like, now Sasuke is going to have to fight his older brother. And it's going to be interesting to see how the ambush on Team 7 is going to play out in the morning, right? Here in the next episode or two. But with that, I feel like I covered what happened previously briefly, gave an in-depth review of everything that went down in the episode. I've given a concise set of my final thoughts on this episode. And so with that, I feel like I can put a bow on it, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening. Again, I'm Joshua. I'm your Konoha companion. Please consider following, sharing, whatever, right? Show your support, man. Numbers matter on paper, right? Even if it's just gratitude for me, right? But in the comments and stuff, be friendly, right? The whole point is to find like-minded individuals who we can all be friends with. So don't be a turd. But with that, guys, I love all of y'all. You guys are badass. I'm Joshua, the Konoha companion, and I'll holler at you guys next time. Peace.